Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Southwest.
Texas Rangers baseball is presented by AT&T UVerse TV. Now, the roof at Rogers Center is closed. A little bit inclement outside, but thank goodness the big top is closed this afternoon as the Rangers try to make it 2 in a row in the second half of the season, taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. And welcome in, everyone, along with Mark McLemore, Steve Busby. Glad you joined us for the Saturday matinee of Ranger baseball. Rangers looking to make it 2 in a row, and they put together a real solid game last night. And this afternoon, they're looking at Colby Lewis to get things done. And behind the plate today, Robinson Chirinos getting the start again. And Chirinos, Mac, has been a real stalwart for the Rangers.
He really has. And filling in for Giovanni Soto, he's done a tremendous job behind the plate and offensively come up with some pretty big hits. But defensively, this is where the big surprise is. He's only got 2 errors and 413 chances for a .995 fielding percentage. And he's leading Major League Baseball in runners thrown out with 21 on the year. And he's also leading with 3 pickoffs on the year as well. So he's done a tremendous job handling this pitching staff for Ron Washington and also pitched in with some big hits offensively.
No, Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. Colby Lewis on the hill this afternoon, looking to get above 500 with his record. He is 6-6 currently. We'll come back with the starting lineups and the first pitch right after this from Toronto on Fox Sports Southwest. Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event, now playing at a Ford dealer near you. And by AT&T UVerse TV. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT, mobilizing your world. An overcast day in Toronto, the shores of Lake Ontario. We'll be back with the starting lineup for you right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. 2 in this 3-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's the starting lineup that Ron Washington is putting out there this afternoon. SHIN-SOO again, the DH leading things off. Elvis Andrus follows. Then it's Alex Rios. Adrian Beltre bats clean up and plays third. Jake Smolinski starting in left field. Leonis Martin in center. He is hitting 6th. J.P. ARENCIBIA, the 3-run home run last night, batting 7th, playing first base. Rougned Odor at second, and Robinson Chirinos to start behind the plate. He bats 9th.
And the Sonic scouting pitching report. Marcus Stroman, 4-2 with an ERA just a little above 4. He's making his 9th career start. As a starter, he's 3-2 with a 2.87 ERA, and out of his 8 starts, he's got 5 quality starts. So this young kid was the Toronto Blue Jay first-round pick of 2012. So he's gotten to the big leagues in a hurry.
He was up to begin the season in the bullpen and didn't fare very well. So the Blue Jays sent him out to AAA, got a few games under his belt, brought him right back, and he's been in the starting rotation ever since. And as Mac told you, has been doing a very credible job. Not a big guy. He's only 5'9", 185 or so. He's out of Duke University, a 23-year-old. Well, the Rangers get their first look at Marcus Stroman here this afternoon, and Shin-Soo, the DH, leading things off. We are underway here in Toronto, and the first pitch is high for ball 1. Choo at 239 with 9 home runs and 33 RBI. Foul down, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. Stroman, mentioned not a big guy, but he gets it up there in a hurry. He's one of those compact right-handers. Right-hander this size you do not see very often at the big league level. But he has certainly made things play pretty well. And Choo hits it hard, but pulls it out to Kawasaki at second. And that's how we get things underway here this afternoon. Take a look at the progressive Blue Jays defense for you this afternoon. And again, John Gibbons with Cabrera in left, Rasmussen center. Anthony GOSE to start. He's in right field today. Dan Johnson at first. Kawasaki and Reyes up the middle. Juan Francisco at third. Deoner Navarro gets the start behind the plate. He was the DH last night. And 23-year-old Marcus Stroman on the hill. Now 1 out on a ground ball. Here's Elvis, a 265 hitter. 1 ball, no strikes. Andrus with a couple of home runs has driven in 22. Stroman back to the plate. 2 balls, no strikes. Elvis last night 1 for 4, had a double late in that ball game, so had a strikeout, and Elvis starting to get things back on the upswing offensively. 3 balls, no strikes. Navarro with a sign, the 3-0 pitch from Stroman. That is right down the middle. One thing Marcus Stroman does is keep the ball in the strike zone most of the time. He has kind of conquered the wildness that he had earlier in his career. He's become very much a strike thrower, and with good stuff. He runs the count now full to Elvis. Andrus trying to get aboard with 1 out. He'll be followed by Alex Rios.
Well, I like what Elvis is doing. This is the first time he's seen Stroman, so he's making him throw some pitches, not only for himself, but for his teammates as well, so they can see the angle of the fastball and any other pitch that he decides to throw. So I like that. The guys at the top of the lineup, when you haven't faced someone, give them an opportunity to see as many pitches as possible.
How much can you pick up, say, from the bench or even the on-deck circle about how a guy is throwing?
Well, you can pick up a lot from the side, from the bench, and, a lot more than you can off of video. Video, you can see some things, but the closer you get, obviously, the better of better pickup you'll have off of whoever's throwing. And obviously, the best view is in the batter's box.
And Dan Johnson, the first baseman, into foul territory, made a nice running catch, and Elvis is out as Stroman able to come back from being down in the count 3-0 to get the foul pop. That is out number 2. Well, with the bases empty now and 2 away, Alex Rios will step to the plate. Rios with the average at .302 with 4 home runs. He has driven across 42. Alex took an 0 for 4 in last night's game. And first ball swinging. That pitch is lofted out of play. And Rios gingerly walking around. Looked like he might have hurt something on that swing.
It looked like his ankle, he twisted his ankle. He didn't get any movement out of that batter's box. You know, when his follow through on the swing, that back foot didn't pivot. It just rolled over on him.
Yeah. I'm not sure which is hurt worse. It looked like his front ankle rolled, and the back one, as you say, Mac, it looked like his spikes kind of caught, twisted it. Devin Harmon, the Ranger trainer out there, along with Ron Washington, talking to Alex Rios, and that is not something you like to see from the Rangers. Rios has been able to be a stalwart in the lineup for the Rangers, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to continue. He's trying to talk Wash into it, and Wash looked like he was going to help him off the field.
No, he's not going to come out that easily. He wants to give it as much time as he possibly can.
And he's not going to be able to continue, so that's going to do it. Well, that's well, I guess just chalk it up to 2014 as far as the Rangers are concerned. First time that Alex Rios is going to have to miss a ball game because of injury. And you would think that Daniel Robertson, the backup outfielder, would probably come up and complete the at bat and stay in the game to play right field. Man, never rains but it pours, doesn't it?
It really is pouring right about now. And you look at that, you know, a lot of times when you start the game, that batter's box is sticky, and it looks as though that's exactly what happened right there. It just kind of, his foot just kind of got stuck and then rolled over on that ankle. That dirt, that clay around there just doesn't give very much.
Looks like he did both of them.
I think the front one is, you know, that's pretty much his normal swing. You'll see a lot of guys, you know, be on the side of that front foot a lot of times. So I think that's natural for Rios. But the back one, that's definitely not a natural movement.
Well, it will be Daniel Robertson now coming out to complete the at bat. He inherits a 0-1 count. So Robertson stay in the ball game, and you would assume he would take over in right field, although Ron Washington might have he and Smolinski change places. We'll have to see when the Rangers go out defensively how that works out. But it'll be Daniel Robertson now coming into pinch hit for Alex Rios. Jake Smolinski. Don't very often see that lineup card change to the third hitter into the game, but it has to. When we get word on Alex Rios, we'll certainly pass that along to you. But here's Robertson. The 0-1 pitch by Stroman is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike, and that's how it looks when you change that lineup card. Rios yellowed out, and Robertson put in his place. Base hit to center field. Daniel Robertson said, no problem. Let's come up and smack one into center. A 2-out base hit. Gets him aboard, and Adrian Beltre now will come up.
Robertson wasted no time whatsoever getting into the game action. Took a pitch on just a little bit outside, and then got another fastball down the middle. Drove it right back up the box for a single.
No, 1 on, 2 out, and here's Beltre. Adrian, of course, his 14th home run of the year, a solo blast in last night's game. 337 the average. Pitch to him is off the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Beltre checking down there with Gary Pettis just to see what might be on. That is outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Beltre now second in the American League in hitting. Robinson Cano, a big night last night. He is up to 340. Beltre 337. Jose Altuve has dropped down to 334. Very tight race. Victor Martinez at 330. A lot of guys bunched right at the top of that batting race list. 2-0 to Beltre. Adrian 1 for 3. Last night also had an intentional walk. Chopper foul first base way. Beltre, I think he was a little fooled by that Stroman offering. There's our batting race in the American League. Cano jumping up ahead of everybody last night. Victor Martinez, Michael Brantley down there with the Cleveland Indians at 329. 2-2 now. A couple of odd swings for Adrian Beltre, and Mac, you talk about this a lot, being able to pick up a pitcher's motion, and it looks like Adrian might be having trouble with that the first time through.
Yeah, this is the first time he's seen him, so it's a little more difficult. The pitcher definitely has the advantage, in these situations.
That popped up on the right side. First baseman Dan Johnson going after it and makes an over-the-shoulder catch. He was expecting Kawasaki to be there, but Kawasaki was playing up the middle, and he didn't really get over there. But nice play by Dan Johnson. A hit and one left for the Rangers, no score. Now the Blue Jays coming to bat. And John Gibbons has put this 9 together as his batting order. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, leads off. Munenori Kawasaki is batting second today. Milky Cabrera is in left. The DH batting cleanup, Jose Bautista. Leandro Navarro bats fifth and catches. The center fielder is Colby Rasmus. Dan Johnson hitting seventh, plays first. Juan Francisco is next, and the number 9 hitter is the right fielder, Anthony Gose.
And the Sonics got a report on Colby Lewis, 6-6 on the year with a 6.5 ERA in 16 starts. No walks in his last 4 starts, and that's something Colby really prides himself on, not giving out those free passes. So hopefully he'll continue that, and he's looking for his second win in his last 3 starts.
And Colby has been on that roller coaster of a good outing, a bad outing, a good outing, and hopefully this will stay in the same rotation, because last time out was not good. And this time, following that, should be a dandy. Jose Reyes, a 267 hitter. Takes low and inside. That evens the count now at a ball and a strike. Reyes, 7 home runs, 28 driven in. Switch hitter up there from the left side against the right-hander, Colby Lewis. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Colby, the 34-year-old out of Bakersfield, California. Coming back from that hip resurfacing surgery, something that no active major league pitcher had before. Another pitch chop foul. Colby also, remember in 2012, had the forearm surgery, elbow surgery on that flexor tendon problem. Lewis reading the signs. Now another 1-2 pitch to Reyes. Rangers with a win last night, snapping that 8-game losing streak. They have evened up the series at 2 apiece against the Blue Jays. Got him swinging. Lewis pulling the string, and Reyes gone on strikes, 1 away. We'll take a look at the Rangers defense this afternoon, brought to you by the New Braunfels Convention and Visitors Bureau. A little bit different than what originally was planned, with Smolinski in left, Martin in center, and Daniel Robertson taking over in right field for the injured Alex Rios. JP Arencibia at first, Rougned Odor and Elvis Andrus up the middle. Adrian Beltre at third, and Robinson Chirinos behind the plate. And Munenori Kawasaki takes strike 1. Kawasaki batting down in the order last night against Yu Darvish and the Rangers. He was the number 9 hitter and had a couple of hits, had a single and a double in 4 trips. Breaking ball that comes through the back door, and it's 1-2. Kind of a statistical oddity as the Rangers and Blue Jays square off here this afternoon. As Kawasaki hits a 2-hopper out to Elvis. In the dirt, and Arencibia, a nice backhanded pickup of a low throw by Elvis Andrus. That is
by JP.
Yeah.
Guys just starting to play first base, so not an easy play. Elvis comes up. Looks like what would be a routine throw. Pulls it to the left a little bit. JP goes down and picks it cleanly. Nice job, JP.
What I was going to say is the Rangers and Jays matching up over the years. The all-time series coming into play today is tied up at 198 wins each.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I'm saying. So 396 games, and you split it dead even. That's amazing. 1-0 pitch right down the middle to Melky Cabrera. Cabrera, 299, a switch hitting left fielder with 11 home runs, 45 RBI. Hits it hard. Elvis, the backhand, it's off his glove, and he'll have no play. That ball was scorched. A low scooter off the turf, and Elvis not able to come up with it.
Melky gets a fastball away from Colby Lewis and drives it. Hits it hard right at Elvis, and it's a little bit more difficult than you realize to catch a ball off the turf, especially when it skips a little bit. And it looks like that one skipped. Looks like it hit that front line there in the infield, and that does make a difference. Not making excuses, but that's a tough ball for Elvis to catch and handle.
Well, the official scorer, kind of sensing that, gives Cabrera an infield single. So 1 on, 2 out. And Bautista going after that high fastball, fouled it straight back. Jose Bautista at 288, 17 home runs, 54 driven in. Again, the Blue Jays missing Edwin Encarnacion, Brett Lowry, just to name a couple in the middle of that order. And Bautista and Cabrera probably kind of feeling like they're on an island. They don't have a lot surrounding them, what they're accustomed to anyway. This is a team in the Toronto Blue Jays that are still leading the American League with 117 home runs as a group. 0-1 pitch. Popped up behind home plate. And Chirinos off of the mask, but that's back about 4 rows. 0-2 to Bautista. Crowd last night at Rogers Center of just over 38,000. Looks like we'll have a similar crowd, maybe even a little larger here today. Building holds just over 50,000 for baseball. Lewis ready for the 0-2 pitch. Instead, it's a toss to first. Cabrera getting a little tension after he stole a base last night. 5 of the season for Cabrera.
He can be sneaky over there on the bases. If a pitcher gets out there and forgets about him and, you know, delivers that high leg kick, you know, he can steal some bases if he needs to.
1-2 to Bautista. Lewis looking in for the sign. Bautista waiting. Familiar batting stance with the hands high over his right shoulder. And another pop foul back behind the plate is out of play. Bautista in this month of July, again without Encarnacion around him, hitting just 200 through the first half of the season, or half of July. That was after hitting 309 for both May and June. Lewis a check of first, the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Colby using both sides of the plate, tries to go away with this pitch. Just off the plate. Nice spot.
John Tumpain, by the way, the arbiter behind home plate today, calling the balls and strikes. Chirinos looking into the Ranger dugout. Now flashes a sign to Colby Lewis. The 2-2 pitch. 3-2. Well, with 2 outs and a full count now, Melky Cabrera will be moving with the next Lewis offering. If Bautista extends the inning, we have Deoner Navarro, Blue Jays catcher, waiting to be next. Colby about ready to deliver his 20th pitch of the first inning. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Well, that is a 2-out walk to go along with the 2-out infield single. So 2 aboard. Deoner Navarro coming up. Chirinos out to say something to Colby Lewis. Navarro DH'd last night. He's a switch hitter and batting at .260 for the season. 5 home runs. He has driven in 37. He's got Cabrera at second, Bautista at first here in the first inning. Rangers in a modified shift, slightly around to the right side, and Navarro takes a big breaking ball in for strike 1. Colby Lewis dropping that slow curveball in.
Colby's gotten ahead of all 5 batters. First pitch strike.
Now the 0-1. Colby having to work overtime here in the first inning. Giving up a walk and a base hit after 2 were out. Trying to get Navarro to end things. In the dirt, and Chirinos a nice block. That hard breaking ball down and into the left-handed hitting Navarro.
You see Robbie going down on the curveball down in the dirt. Gets his body over, gets in front of it. Doesn't try to catch it cleanly, just keep that ball in front of him. That kept the runners from advancing.
Now Lewis ready, a check of second. The 2-1 pitch coming. Good changeup. Fastball count, and Colby looked through something that looked like a fastball to Navarro, but just didn't get there quite as fast.
Look at this. Robbie sets up down and away, and Colby hits that spot, pulls the string a little bit. Navarro way out in front of that one.
And that time, Lewis coming up and in, and Navarro got a piece of the ball and a piece of his front leg, too. They got him where he's rubbing right up there in the knee.
Look at this. Colby comes inside on it. Oh. There's no padding there off that right knee, off the inside of that right knee.
Boy, if you're a catcher, that's got to be the worst place to get hit, I would think. Having to squat down behind home plate, and you know that thing's going to swell up on you.
I think we're going to see another one come out of the game, Buzz.
Well, both these teams, Rangers, of course, leading the world in injury-related misses for this year, and Toronto's sneaking up on them. They are not far behind. They are third in the majors and most players used this year. Navarro trying to squat down and get a little bit of that pain out of there. Rangers have used 51 players this year. The Blue Jays now have used 45. Navarro's pretty tough to get a catcher out. Navarro waiting for that thing to stop hurting. It's probably going to be sometime in November.
Well, something tells me this veteran pitcher out here on the mound is probably going to throw him the same pitch.
Or something in the same area, anyway. Yeah, good chance. Cabrera the lead from second. Bautista away from first. Another 2-2 pitch. He lines one to left field, but right there is Smolinski to make the grab. And that'll do it. Well, Lewis able to work around a 2-out single and a walk. 2 runners left. On to the second, scoreless in Toronto.
The attitude actually did get bad. As hard as the players tried to stay positive, Elvis Andrus says that's the challenge for the second half.
I think that every time you have a break like that, mentally you feel a lot better. Kind of feel like you have your confidence back, and it's a new start for us. So we knew that we didn't have the first half we wanted to, but we still have a lot of baseball ahead, and if we can continue to play the way we did yesterday, hopefully we'll get a change.
Hey, they're 1-0 in the second half of the season, and they are feeling better. You can just see it in the way they run around the clubhouse, and even on the plane, you could tell they're just in good spirits right now. Let's see if they can keep the attitude up, and then maybe the winning will follow, guys.
All right, John, thank you. Yeah, that's nothing. Nothing makes you feel better than a W, and certainly the Rangers. Matt, I talked about it a little bit last night, but they really put together a solid game of baseball last night.
They did. This is the way that baseball's supposed to be played. You get good, solid starting pitching. A pitcher gets into the 7th, 8th inning, hopefully. Then that bullpen comes up and get 1 or 2 guys out of that bullpen and get to that closer and just shut things down. And offensively, they made got some big hits in big situations to score some runs, and they played solid defense.
All the elements necessary to to get a W, and they did. And some days you have to remember that this ball club now, the way the Rangers are constructed, some days they're going to play a solid game of baseball and not win because the other team on that day is just better. Call strike 3. Jake Smolinski got caught window shopping at a low fastball. That is out number 1. Well, folks, the next Evening with a Legend presented by Capital One Bank will feature Rangers Hall of Famer Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. And that event takes place on Saturday, September the 6th. Guests will pose for photos with Pudge and hear from him in an exclusive question and answer session and get tickets for the Rangers game that night. To purchase tickets, visit TexasRangers.com/foundation. And you know Pudge is going to have some great answers to all the questions.
He might even have a couple of questions.
Yeah, he could. It's very true. Here's Leonys Martin. He gets fisted and hits a 2-hopper very slowly out to Kawasaki. 2 gone. Well, Leonys Martin now all of a sudden starts to see everybody pitch him inside and really pound him in there. Now it's, as we talked about with Rougned Odor, time to make adjustments to the opposition's adjustments.
Right, you've got to figure out at some point what a team is trying to do to you, and it's not necessarily pitchers. Most clubs have every pitcher pitch a batter a certain way. You know, I think the longer you're in the league, then you'll start seeing certain guys that you've faced over and over that you develop a pattern with. So if those guys change teams, then they'll pitch you that way. But Martin hasn't been here long enough to have that pattern established. So right now, it's every team is going to pitch him basically the same way.
There's J.P. Arencibia. Stroman fires a knee-high strike, and that evens the count. J.P. with his second big league home run this year. And last night, a 3-run blast. He is now driven in 9. And he's gotten the average up to 143. 2-1. If you were watching last night, happened to see the post-game interview we did with the J.P. Arencibia and talking about going down to AAA. He said, hey, that was something I needed to do. And he gets a base hit here by the dive of Jose Reyes out into left center field. And Reyes shading over into the hole, had a long way to go, and playing on the turf, you don't have that great an opportunity if the ball is not hit where you're stationed.
You know, JP gets a breaking ball down and away and hits it hard. Right back up the middle, just out of the reach of Jose Reyes.
So the second Ranger hit, both of them have been with 2 outs. Robertson had one in the first inning, and now Arencibia. That brings up Rougned Odor. 0-1. Odor last night, for the second time this year, as a matter of fact, came up a home run shy of hitting for the cycle. Single, double, triple. Also did that in the game in Detroit back in the early stages of the season. He gets fisted, hits a chopper out to Kawasaki, and that'll do it. Rangers get a hit strand, their second runner of the game. On to the bottom of inning number 2, scoreless at Rogers Center. photo for a chance to have it shown in one of our upcoming broadcasts. That's thanks to the good folks at AT&T. Use hashtag Southwest Fan Photo, and your photo might be selected to be aired during the season at some point. And we will have today's selection a little bit later on in our broadcast. Colby Rasmus to lead things off against Colby Lewis. Bottom of the second inning, scoreless game. First pitch is popped foul behind home plate, back into the seats, 0-1. Colby Rasmus, a solo home run last night, his 13th round tripper of the year. That accounted for the only run of the Blue Jays evening against Yu Darvish and the bullpen of Neil Kotz and Joaquin Soria. You know, last night was the first time this year the Rangers have allowed one run in any ballgame. Yeah, and you know the Rangers have 14 shutouts, which is the most in the American League. They had never had a game prior to last night where they allowed just one run, win or lose. And Yu Darvish got that done. That seems like it's almost impossible, but
it really does, especially with 14 shutouts. You think there's a possibility of a few more shutouts that got spoiled late in the game with with a home run or something like that.
Rasmus fouls it back. Rasmus, as you saw, 28 RBI to go along with the 13 home runs. 24 of his 45 hits this year have gone for extra bases. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, Colby had to use 26 pitches in that first inning, now up to 31 with nobody out in the second. Breaking ball, that just missed. Looked like Chirinos was coming up ready to throw that around the horn. With good reason. Almost good reason. Pretty close. Now the payoff pitch. Come back and try it again.
Colby's been doing a good job mixing up his pitches, using the outside part of the plate, the inside part of the plate. I like his game plan so far against these guys.
Another 3-2 on the way. That's popped up on the left side. Adrian Beltre, the only Ranger over there, has this one measured. 1 gone. So long at bat, but Rasmus out. Now Dan Johnson will come up. Johnson filling in for the injured Adam Lind. Hitting just 100, but playing pretty good first base, doing a good job of filling in as best the Blue Jays could do. And takes a strike. Johnson now 0 for his last 8. Lewis back to him. 1-1. Check swing on the breaking ball, and he peeled down to Bill Welke at third, said no swing. 2 balls and a strike. And Johnson, the veteran first baseman, awaits Colby's offering. Got that breaking ball in under the fist, and it's 2-2.
Johnson's been around a while. He's got some pop in his bat. That's one of the reasons he's been able to hang around as long as he has.
That one's high, so for the second straight hitter, Colby Lewis has gone to a full count. Johnson hitting 7th in the order. He'll be followed by the third baseman, Juan Francisco. Colby rocks the payoff pitch. Low ball 4. Johnson eking out a walk against Colby Lewis. Second that Lewis has walked. And this after Colby had gone through his last 4 starts without walking anybody.
Close pitches on that one. Dan Johnson is a guy that will make you pitch. He doesn't swing at a lot of bad pitches.
The 1 on 1 out, Juan Francisco, a .236 hitter. He does have 14 home runs and has driven in 34. Johnson not much of a threat to steal at first. Francisco a little late pulling the trigger against Colby. Francisco 0 for 3 last night with a walk. Rangers a couple of steps around to the right. Oh, the left-handed hitting Francisco. 1 ball and 1 strike. See on the turf, Elvis Andrus at double play depth, but not much shallower than he normally would be. The turf, the ball gets to you a little more quickly. Good breaking ball. Get the word from the Rangers clubhouse about Alex Rios, a sprained right ankle. Well, it was his that back ankle, Mac, as you had pointed out. Day to day is the current prognosis for Alex Rios.
Something tells me we're not going to see him tomorrow. Not out here on this turf after doing that.
Yeah, that would be pushing a little bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. You know, turf changes things tremendously, especially with anything, you know, in the lower half with injuries. This turf could just, your body reacts differently on turf. It's artificial turf. Even though it's the new turf, it's still artificial. So
slowly hit to Arencibia. It's a foul ball. Apparently that got the front foot of Juan Francisco as it bounded down toward first. And we'll come back and try it again at 2-2. Is that the kind of injury that could be exacerbated by playing on the turf? I mean,
oh, there's no question about it.
Yeah,
you
running on the turf
do
is hard on you.
It's extremely hard, and it's really a lot like what CHOO's going through right now. That's why you see him DHing and not playing in the field. And you know, ankle injuries are very, very difficult, especially and even knee injuries on this turf because it's just a different kind of pounding.
This one is just foul at that last hop. It really kicked it into foul territory before Arencibia could get it. So Francisco, a couple of foul balls on pretty good pitches by Colby Lewis. Colby now up to 46 pitches. So far he's had just about 60% strikes, 27 of the 46. Robinson Chirinos flashing the signs out. Lewis again ready. Got him swinging. Reduced his leg kick that time, and it looked like Juan Francisco got kind of messed up by that quicker move.
Yeah, a little quick pitch, it gets a lot of hitters because you get into a rhythm with that pitcher. Colby got, you know, somewhat quick pitched him. Threw him a fastball up in that eye area, and whenever that ball's up in the zone like that, hitters think that they can hit it because it's closer to eye level, and it looks like, hey, I'm right on it. But most of the time, you're not going to catch up to that high gas.
No, 2 outs. Colby Lewis getting his second strikeout. And Anthony Gose hits a towering pop foul behind home plate that will be back into the seats. 0-1. Gose, a .232 hitter with no home runs and 6 RBI. Last chance that Gose had to get in the ball game before the All-Star break back on July the 12th against Tampa Bay. Outside from Lewis. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Gose has been on that rotation of going to AAA Buffalo and back to Toronto. This is his 5th turn with the Blue Jays this year. Getting travel miles. It's this one well to right field. Robertson, though, moving to his right. Had him played almost perfectly. Side retired, no runs, no hit. The walker left stranded. We're going to the 3rd. Rangers nothing, Blue Jays nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get live look-ins and instant replay, scores, stats, audio, and some free MLB.tv games of the day, and a whole lot more. Download on the App Store or visit TexasRangers.com today. Well, Marcus Stroman set to go back to work here in the top of the third inning. Scoreless ball game. Rangers with a couple of hits. The Blue Jays with one. Robinson Chirinos batting in the number 9 spot to lead things off. And he takes a fastball to the inside corner for strike one.
Well, as we talked earlier about Stroman not seeing pitchers that, around his size. What do you think the reason for that is?
Well, I think a big part of it, Mac, is the radar gun. Typically smaller guys don't throw as hard in high school as the bigger guys, and they get passed over. Right-handers, especially because there's so many of them. You start looking for guys that the radar gun says, hey, this guy can pitch at 93, and whether he can pitch or not is yet to be seen. But the guys that are relatively small don't typically develop the good arm as fast. I would imagine Stroman was one of those guys that probably didn't throw nearly as hard in high school as some of his contemporaries, but got to Duke, and all of a sudden he was playing second base when he first went there. All of a sudden the arm strength developed, and they put him on the mound. But I think smaller guys, especially right-handers, tend to get overlooked. Kawasaki, off-balance throw, and dug out nicely by Johnson at first.
A nice play on Johnson's part, being able to pick that one. That's a tough one to pick with your second baseman coming in and throwing across his body. Kawasaki had plenty of time to set his feet and make a solid throw with Chirinos running.
Well, one out, now back to the top of the Ranger order for SHIN-SOO Choo. Choo hit the ball sharply, but grounded out to second as he let things off here this afternoon. Marcus Stroman, as we mentioned, just turned 23 back in May. 5'9", 185 out of Medford, New York, by way of Duke University. He was the first #1 draft pick out of Duke in the history of the university.
It's kind of hard to believe.
Foul back, 2-1.
It's a basketball powerhouse. You would think somewhere along the line, the baseball team would, throw out a #1 pick somewhere.
Yeah, you would think in a part of the country that has pretty good baseball with the North Carolina schools and South Carolina in there. But nope, he was the first #1 pick ever out of Duke. 2-2 the count to Choo here with one out and the bases empty in the top of the third. You got Choo on the fist, and SHIN-SOO fouling it off. Stroman to the wind, again the 2-2. That time Choo just getting a little piece of it.
Choo doing a good job fouling off some pretty tough pitches from Stroman.
Yeah, Stroman, talking to some of the folks that follow the Blue Jays all the time, he's got about 3 different kinds of breaking ball that he will throw. There's a little bit slower variety that Choo chops down to first. That's out number 2. As Johnson takes it to the bag. Now, before Elvis comes up, let's take time for a Mazda game break. Here's Dana Larson. Dana. All right, Dana, thank you. Well, Oakland putting together a pretty solid ball club, and they just seem to keep getting better as the year goes on. Pitch to Elvis outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
They seem to not have a whole lot of weaknesses.
And adding Samardzija and Hamels didn't hurt their rotation at all. Elvis drives this one to left center field. Then Rasmus gliding over to his right, makes the grab, and that'll do it. Rangers gone in order for the first time this afternoon after 2.5. Rangers nothing, Blue Jays nothing in Toronto. Rangers baseball on Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by the all-new Mazda 3 with seamless connectivity. Well, outside, a cloudy, cool day. Inside, beautiful. Crowd of, looks like, be in the neighborhood of 40,000 on hand for this Saturday matinee of baseball. Rangers and the Blue Jays, a scoreless game as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Colby Lewis working to the top of the order for the 2nd time, fires a strike past the swinging Jose Reyes. Reyes went down swinging his first time up. Colby with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in the first 2 innings. Just missed the outside corner. 1-1 to Reyes. Rangers snapped Jose Reyes' hitting streak at 9 last night. That's out of play to the left. 1-2. .333 average in his last 19 games, including that 9-game hitting streak that saw him hit over .380. Chopper to the right side. ARENCIBIA backing up. It's going to be a close play. Lewis not in time. Well, we talked about it before. JP ARENCIBIA, the 8th different player to start at first base for the Rangers. When you have inexperience at first, you're going to have mistakes like that. Right. Instead of going after the ball and taking the play, ARENCIBIA backed up, let the ball play him.
Right. Well, with a guy like Reyes, you cannot let that ball, you can't back up on that ball. You've got to charge any high hop that's hit to you because you're going to give that speedster some time to get there. And most guys that can run are going to beat the pitcher over to first base when they're covering on that. So JP's got to come and get that ball anytime there's a high hop in that infield. You want to come get it.
Well, that's an infield single for Reyes. 1 on, nobody out. MUNENORI Kawasaki, the second baseman, is up there. Takes ball 1 outside. And we talked about the number of first basemen. How about this? Prince Fielder started the whole thing. Then Mitch Moreland, Carlos Pena, Brad Snyder, Donnie Murphy, Chris Jimenez, Adam Rosales, and JP ARENCIBIA. That list doesn't give you a whole lot of continuity over there. having that many folks trying to play first.
No, 8 first basemen in 3 months. That's saying a lot right there.
And, you know, you look at that list, too, and how many of them are converted catchers and, you know, just guys that aren't used to playing with it. Brad Snyder was a converted outfielder, had never played before the three-game crash course down at AAA. So there are only 3 of those guys that were legitimate first basemen.
Right, and that's difficult. That's a very tough thing to do when you're playing a different position. Then all of a sudden you have to play another position, especially in the infield on a corner at the big league level. Most times it happens when you're in the minor league level. You have, you know, you'll learn that craft there, or at least be thrown into it at the minor league level, not at the big league level. That's a tough thing to adjust to.
On that list, you saw the top 3 with Fielder, Moreland, and Pena. The only 3 legitimate first basemen on there are guys that had been playing first base as their primary position. 2-1 the count to Kawasaki. Reyes steps off a pretty good lead at first as Lewis checks him. Hit and run is on. Elvis goes to the bag at second, not in time. He does get the out at first. And Reyes able to beat the attempt by Elvis to tag the bag before he got there. And immediately the call was made by the second base umpire. That's Chris Conroy, and Ron Washington going out to have a chat with Conroy as they look at the replays.
See Reyes taking off on the hit and run, and Elvis had a chance to flip the ball over to Odor, who was there. And they would have been able to turn that double play a little bit easier.
Tough to tell from that angle where Reyes' foot is. But it looks like from this angle that they got it. And we'll see. It's going to be a challenge. Ron Washington got the word from Tim Bogart, his bench coach, who got the word from upstairs. And Joey Probinski, the Rangers video man, taking a close look at that and told Tim Bogart they would be wise to use a challenge here. There's the foot on the bag, and boy, it sure looks like they've got a sound case to make that challenge.
Yeah, looks like they got it.
Ron Washington issues the challenge, and you have Chris Conroy, the second base umpire, who made the call, and Bill Welke, the third base umpire, who's the crew chief. They are under headsets talking with New York. We'll get the information, and the call now is out of their hands. The call comes from the replay command center in New York. Umpires assigned to check this game in the command center. Apparently have gotten the word, and he is out at second base. It will go down as a double play. Well, the challenge overturns the call, and a good job again by the Rangers video review crew. Joey Probinski and Tim Bogart getting the signs out to Ron Washington, who issued the challenge, and that goes down as a 6-3 double play. And for the Rangers, that is their 92nd double play turn this year.
That was a difficult turn for Elvis. He made a great play on it. You see, he started that double, or started his throw before he even touched second base. So that was a very difficult play to make.
And once the challenge was issued, it was a fairly easy call to make. It only took 61 seconds total elapsed time to get that call overturned. Melky Cabrera shooting one foul and out of play, and all of a sudden Colby Lewis a very quick advantage in the count at 0-2. Cabrera, an infield single. He hit a rocket, one-hop rocket off the glove of Elvis Andrus his first time. Still 0-2. We'll take a look at our Ford leaderboard. Hits in the American League. Jose Altuve leading the group with 131. Cano second. Melky Cabrera with 119 is third. And then Michael Brantley of the Indians at 117. Cabrera back in. The 0-2 from Colby. Way inside. Having jackknifing out of the way. Firing for effect.
I like it. Make them move their feet.
Yep.
Especially a guy that likes to dive over the plate like Melky does. You throw something inside, make them move a little bit, make them just a little bit uncomfortable.
That ball is smashed by Arancibia down the right field line. Cabrera into second ahead of the throw by Daniel Robertson. And Colby trying to make that pitch down and in. Didn't quite get it there. Cabrera's bat intercepted it. And Melky Cabrera with his 22nd two-bagger of the year. And now, thank goodness, for the challenge and the overturned call.
Yeah, that challenge makes a big difference here. That saves a run for the moment. Colby trying to go down and in with that slider down and trying to get that back foot slider past Cabrera. But Cabrera gets it, drives it down the line for a double.
No, a couple of hits in the inning, 3 in the game for the Blue Jays. Have a runner at second with 2 outs, Jose Bautista, and the Rangers will not give Bautista an opportunity to hurt him here. They're going to issue the intentional walk and take their chances with DeAndre Navarro, who is waiting in the on-deck circle. Colby Lewis making himself the villain here in front of this crowd at Rogers Center in Toronto. I want to see Bautista swing the bat, and Colby said, "No, we're not doing that."
No, if there's anybody in this lineup that you're going to walk in this situation here, this is the guy. He's got a great eye at the plate. He hits for average. He hits for power. Understands the strike zone. This is the guy you want to walk.
Well, a couple of walks in the game now for Bautista, who has run his total up to 64 for the year. First and second with 2 outs. DeAndre Navarro, who lined to left field back in the first, will step in. Sometimes the hardest thing for a pitcher after you intentionally walk somebody is gearing yourself back up to make a good pitch on the first 1 or 2 pitches to the next hitter. You got to be careful you don't have a lapse in concentration. And Navarro doesn't get a fastball in the first pitch. There's Colby going back to the competitive mode very quickly, and he gets strike 1 on the foul ball.
Now, Buzz, how difficult is it to throw those 4 intentional balls?
You know, I dreaded that. That scared me to death. I never practiced it, and I should. I was told, you know, do it, practice it. I never did because I felt like, I don't want to put negative thoughts in my head. And then when I had to do it in a game, I was trying to throw darts up there, and I'm surprised that none of them went to the backstop. That was all over the place.
Yeah, I know there are a number of guys that would try and throw it, you know, soft like they're playing catch and had no clue where it was going to go.
That was me. I was one of those guys. 1-1 the count to Navarro. And my advice to younger pitchers, practice that. And you don't have to do it every day, but you know, when you have a chance and you're throwing on the side of the bullpen, practice throwing 4 of them outside the strike zone to a catcher that's standing up.
And no matter who you are, you're gonna issue an intentional walk at some point.
Ground ball to shallow right field, and that's exactly where Rougned Odor is stationed. A couple of hits and a walk in the inning, but the Blue Jays do not score. They strand a pair. We're going to the 4th inning, still no score. Rangers are bringing you summer savings. You can purchase $34 all-you-can-eat seats or $28 corner box seats for August 11th or 12th. That's when the Tampa Bay Rays are in town. Just visit TexasRangers.com/specials and use the coupon code Fox Sports. Ranger gear even north of the border. Scoreless ball game as Marcus Stroman back to the hill. Starting the 4th inning, he'll face Daniel Robertson to lead off, Adrian Beltre, Jake Smolinski to follow. And Robertson bent back by the breaking ball. It stays high for ball 1. Daniel entered the game when Alex Rios twisted his ankle, sprained his ankle back in the 1st inning while he was hitting. 1-1. Robertson promptly singled sharply to center field. Daniel with the average now at 254. Chops that one foul. Stroman, again, one of the breaking ball varieties that he will throw 3 or 4 different speeds and different looks. Marcus Stroman has not walked a hitter. He has struck out 1 this afternoon. Rangers have a couple of hits. They're both singles, and they both come with 2 outs. Out of play to the right, and the count remains a ball and 2 strikes. Robertson waiting. Stroman reading the signs. Chopper slowly hit to the right side by the dive of Johnson, and he had Kawasaki sprawling on the turf. Couldn't get off a throw, and Daniel Robertson with his 2nd consecutive hit. Getting a little bit of flack from the Rangers dugout.
You see Johnson kind of hesitated when the ball was hit. He took off going to first and then decided, hey, maybe I should go after that ball. Fortunately for Robertson, he didn't start right away. Kawasaki jumping up, nice sliding catch, but no chance to get the speedy Robertson going first.
No, Daniel Robertson with his 4th 2-hit game of the year, and one in his last outing against the Angels on the 13th. Daniel Robertson aboard with nobody out, and Adrian Beltre, who fouled out to the first baseman Dan Johnson his first time. Rip and a miss, good breaking ball. That hard slider from Marcus Stroman. 1-1 to Beltre. Stroman checks Robertson. And Beltre shoots one to right, a base hit. Robertson to second, puts on the brakes. Throw comes into the cutoff man. And Adrian Beltre following Robertson's base hit with one of his own. Rangers for the first time this afternoon have 2 aboard at the same time, and this time with nobody out.
Beltre gets a fastball up and away and drills it into right field for a solid single. Continuing his hot hitting.
Well, you know, we mentioned the first time up how Adrian looked like he was having trouble picking the ball up from Stroman. The adjustment didn't take long, did it?
No, I think he picked it up. I think he figured it out. The good ones always do.
The 1st and 2nd now, the Blue Jays playing both cornermen in, expecting the bunt from Jake Smolinski. And Dan Johnson, the first baseman, even with the baseline over there, and the third baseman Juan Francisco playing caddy corner. No bunt here. And the pitch is a strike to Smolinski. Jake called out on strikes his first time up there. He's checking with Gary Pettis now down at 3rd for the Rangers. Ron Washington. See how he plays it here on this turf. This not the easiest place to get a sacrifice bunt now. 0-2 now as Smolinski fouls one off.
Yeah, turf is a lot harder to bunt on. You know, unless you're a guy who bunts a lot. It's a little bit, no, I won't say easier, but it's more difficult for a guy who doesn't bunt a lot to get a bunt down on turf because you're going to get that extra roll, so you have to be able to deaden the ball a little bit more than you would on grass. And if you're not a guy who bunts regularly, that can be a tough assignment.
Now with 2 strikes now, you would not expect there to be a bunt, and Smolinski gone on strikes. 2 strikes out for the second time. 1 gone. Leonys Martin now coming up.
Stroman throws that curveball. Smolinski can't get to it, chases it down in the dirt.
Leonys jammed his first time up.
Yeah, you don't see too many guys in the 5-hole bunting.
Jammed there again and fouled it off. Would that hold even though the Rangers are not the Rangers?
It would typically hold. I don't see many guys or many managers having their 5th hitter in the lineup. Even though Smolinski's not really your prototypical 5-hole hitter, there aren't many guys or many teams that are going to do that. And Jake's been swinging the bat well. So, you know, I think Wash went with his gut there and said, hey, he's been swinging the bat well, got a hit last night, nice solid single to left. Let him swing the bat a little bit and see what happens. And like I said, you know, with being on turf, a guy that doesn't bunt regularly, it's a little bit tougher.
Now Leonys Martin down in the count. Stroman, once he got runners at first and second, and throwing some nasty pitches to both Smolinski and Leonys Martin. Stroman ready for the 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. And a hard breaking ball down and in on 3 pitches. Both Smolinski and Leonys Martin out on strikes. 2 gone. And J.P. Arencibia coming up.
Stroman goes down and in, gets that backdoor slider, or back foot slider to Leonys Martin. Just swung right over the top of it.
Arencibia had a roller through the infield for a base hit his first time up. And right back up the middle. Trying to pick up Robertson from second base. A swinging strike 1. Well, all of a sudden Stroman, once he got 2 runners on with nobody out, he's gone to that breaking ball, and that's been a very effective pitch.
It's got a nice, sharp, tight breaking ball.
0-1 with the fastball, and got it up a little bit. 1 ball, 1 strike. Saw Deanna Navarro pointing out, saying, boy, that's where I wanted that fastball to Arencibia. Try and elevate that fastball a bit and probably follow it up with a breaking ball. Came back with that fastball tailing inside. So you have that open to him. It's 2-1 now. Runners at first and second, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Hard hit ground ball behind the bag at third, but Francisco has it. He wins that race to the bag ahead of Daniel Robertson, and that'll do it. Rangers get back-to-back hits to start the inning, but strand them both. After 3.5, no score. Chevy Hometown Kids. It's on every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Southwest, where it's not about the score, it's about the experience. Quite an experience out here this afternoon in Toronto. A scoreless ball game. Rangers squandering the best opportunity they've had after back-to-back singles, leading off the top of the fourth. Marcus Stroman able to get out unscathed. And now Colby Rasmus leading off the bottom of the fourth inning against Colby Lewis. Rasmus popped out his first time up. He shoots one off to the left and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rasmus, as you can see, hitting at .216 for the year. It's this one to right center field. That is in for a base hit. Well, Rasmus leads off the Blue Jay fourth with a solid single to right. One on, nobody out. Dan Johnson now coming to the plate. Johnson drew a walk against Colby Lewis back in the second inning. Colby has walked 3, one of them intentional. He has struck out a couple. And the right-hander's first pitch is a strike on the inside corner.
One of the things Colby's done really well today is get ahead of hitters. There are only 2 hitters that he hasn't gotten ahead of. We're in the 4th inning here, so he's done a good job of pitching ahead.
In the dirt, it gets away from Chirinos. Down to second is Rasmus. He's going to try for third. He's going to make it. A 2-base wild pitch. Robinson Chirinos couldn't locate the ball as it hit in the dirt and apparently off his bare hand. Went straight up in the air. And by the time Robinson located it, Rasmus all the way around to third.
Colby throws that slider down and in. And Robbie gets his body over, but it just took a pretty wicked hop off of his body, ricocheted, and then he couldn't pick it up right away, and that allowed Rasmus to go all the way from first all the way to third.
So now, with Rasmus at third and nobody out, Rangers pulled the infield all the way in. And Johnson takes the pitch high. It's 2 balls and a strike. Oh boy, on turf, this really has to be a daunting task for the infield. Play in, and you almost have to feel like the ball has to be hit right at you to have a shot.
It really does.
That ball pounded to right field. Robertson going back. It's over his head. One hopping off the wall. Rasmus scores into second with the RBI double as Dan Johnson, and the Blue Jays take a 1-0 lead.
Colby tried to go away a little bit from Dan Johnson. Changeup out over the plate, left it out, caught a little bit too much of the plate, and Dan Johnson, a pull hitter, he's got some pop in his bat, hits this ball out to right field over Robertson's head. Easily drives in Rasmus at third base. 1 RBI double.
Well, the Blue Jays strike first, and they have Johnson at second now. Still nobody out. Juan Francisco takes a strike to the outside corner. Francisco struck out the first time that he faced Colby Lewis this afternoon. Remember last night, for you folks who were watching, Francisco saw as many of those breaking balls as he saw anything else, and he had a devil of a time. This afternoon, Colby got him on a high fastball the first time up. Francisco with 3 strikeouts last night and 1 walk. Not having a lot of luck with runners in scoring position either. He fouls that next pitch straight back and out of play. 0-2.
It looks like he's probably going to see a steady diet of breaking balls, especially when pitchers ahead in the count.
Colby okays the sign, a check of second. There's another breaking ball, and he is gone on strikes. Strikeout completed at first. That is a very big one out. Johnson still at second, and Anthony Gose coming up.
Colby put that curveball exactly where he wanted it. Wanted to bounce it with the count being 0-2. And you can only do that, a pitcher can only do that when he's very comfortable with that catcher behind the plate, knowing that, hey, I can bounce this ball and my catcher's going to keep it in front of him.
Yep. The one out, Gose, line to right field, his first time up there. Johnson getting his lead right there at the bottom of your screen. A bunt, and Colby Lewis off the mound. Throws, not in time. Gose able to leg it out. On to third goes Johnson. And not that great a bunt, but when you're as fast as Anthony Gose, it doesn't take a great bunt.
No, he didn't get it exactly where he wanted it, but got it in a good enough place where Colby couldn't react to it quick enough to get him at first base. Gose can get down that line and just a few feet off to the right of the mound. And that's the only play that Colby had was go to first. Adrian Beltre broke off the bag coming to get the bunt, but Colby got there first.
Oh, Blue Jays threatening for more here in the fourth inning. They already lead 1-0, and back to the top of the order for Jose Reyes with runners at first and third. And a belt high strike puts Lewis on top of the count, 0-1. Reyes an infield single last time up. Hit a chopper to first that J.P. Arencibia backed up on. And boy, with Reyes' speed, there was no way that Colby Lewis was going to outrace him to first. The breaking ball settles low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You know, typically you don't see a batter bunt for a base hit with a runner at second base in scoring position already. Typically when that runner's in scoring position, you want to swing the bat to try and drive that run in. But Gose, with the speed that he's got, if he gets to first base, you've got Reyes right behind him. Chances of hitting into a ground ball double play are very, very slim at that point.
Elvis going out in the shallow left field to make the grab, and that is a very big out, number 2, as Reyes pops out. And the runners stay at first and third. That'll bring up Munenori, Kawasaki.
Great piece of pitching by Colby Lewis. Gets Reyes to pop it up, and not just pop it up to the infield. Keep from getting a sac fly. If Reyes hits the ball on the ground, it would have been very difficult for them to turn a double play because both he and Gose can really, really run.
Well, Colby now trying to limit the damage to 1 run here in the fourth inning. Kawasaki has grounded out twice to shortstop. Last time up in the third inning was into a double play, and you see the inning by inning breakdown for Colby Lewis. Had to work overtime here in the first 3 2/3 against the Blue Jays. There goes Gose bluffed to move and came back, and Colby threw a strike.
Surprised Gose hasn't gone by now. He's got a very good lead. Got halfway out on the carpet.
Could he be waiting to give Kawasaki a couple of pitches with first baseman holding him on? Or is Kawasaki not the kind of guy that you really would worry about that with?
I'm not worried about that. I'd actually like, if I were going, having Gose run, having Kawasaki be a guy that can handle the bat. That's what I'd be more worried about.
There goes Gose, and he keeps stopped again up the middle, and Elvis flags it down but has no play. In to score is Dan Johnson, and an infield single for Kawasaki. The Blue Jays on top 2-0.
Colby leaves one out over the middle of the plate. And Kawasaki, a good contact hitter, just hits it right back up the middle. And this is what you typically call a turf hit. If this isn't turf, I think Elvis gets to that play, probably makes the play going over first base. But that ball on turf, it gets through that infield just a little bit quicker than it does on natural grass.
Mike Maddox out. slow things down a bit. Colby an opportunity to catch his breath. Blue Jays have had 4 hits in the inning. 2 of them the infield variety, one a bunt single. And Kawasaki's RBI single right up the middle that Elvis got to, but had no play. So first and second with 2 outs, and Melky Cabrera has singled and doubled today. Blue Jays now 2 runs on 7 hits. Lewis, first pitch. And he fires a strike on the inside corner. Cabrera with those 2 hits now back up over 300 for the season. 302 to be exact. Colby a long set. And that ball hammered to center field. Going back, Martin still going back. Leonis runs it down just as he steps onto the warning track. Now that'll do it, but the Blue Jays scored twice on 4 hits they strand to. On to the 5th we go. It's now the Blue Jays 2 and the Rangers nothing. Schedule, and tomorrow afternoon right back here to wrap things up with the Blue Jays. Nick Tepish and Mark Burley. A noon start on Fox Sports Southwest. Then it's on to the Big Apple, 4 in Yankee Stadium, with the Yankees beginning on Monday night, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights, and Thursday afternoon, and then back home to take on the Athletics and the Yankees at Globe Life Park. That finishes out the month of July. Rangers start the month of August with a long road trip. Cleveland, Chicago, and Houston. Well, Rangers have some work to do now. They trail by a pair, 2-0. Rougned Odor to start things off against Marcus Stroman. Odor, Chirinos, and CHOO here in the 5th inning. Rougned showing bunt. That brought Juan Francisco down from third. I'm not sure he was buying that the whole way, but Rougned just giving him something to think about. Odor a ground ball to second, his first time up there. Lashing at that pitch and fouls it straight back. Hey, one thing about Odor, you don't see him get cheated very often on a hack.
No, you really don't. And I'm hoping what he did, walking out on that first pitch, faking a bunt. I hope he did it intentionally to get a fastball that next pitch, because typically when a guy that can bunt shows bunt for a base hit, that next pitch is going to be a fastball. For some reason, I think it's been taught to a lot of pitchers that a breaking ball is an easier pitch for a guy to bunt. So if you think a guy is going to bunt, give him a fastball. I tend to disagree with that.
Yeah, I do too. I always thought a hard slider was a tougher pitch to bunt.
Anything that's moving on a different plane is harder to bunt than a fastball.
Yeah,
fastball's right there. Just like anything, any breaking pitch is harder than a fastball to hit. And if it's harder to hit, it's harder to bunt.
That makes sense. Makes sense to me.
So you know a lot of guys that would do it. I did it a lot in my career. If I wanted a fastball, I wasn't the best breaking ball hitter, but if I wanted a fastball from a guy early in the count, I would walk out there, fake a bunt. 9 times out of 10, that next pitch, here's a fastball.
Payoff pitch coming to Odor. Got him swinging. Boy, there's a good, sharp breaking ball from Stroman, who gets his 4th strikeout of the afternoon. Odor gone. Now Robinson Chirinos coming up.
Stroman's been using this pitch very effectively. That nice tight slider down and into left-handers, throwing at that back foot. And they've been swinging right over the top of it. It's a tough pitch to lay off of for a left-hander. You look at it, it's coming. You see it, you think you're right on it. All you've got to do is just drop the head on it a little bit, and then all of a sudden it ducks under your bat.
Robinson Chirinos watches a fastball into the glove of Deandre Navarro. 0-1. Chirinos a ground ball to second. That was as he led off the 3rd inning. Behind here, 0-2. A couple of fastballs. Stroman and Deandre Navarro mixing things up a bit here. They went to the breaking ball almost exclusively last inning after a couple runners on. Slowly hit the 3rd, and Francisco triggers the throw across. 2 up, 2 away. And Stroman now will face the top of the Ranger order, Shin-Soo Choo, for the 3rd time. Choo has grounded out twice this afternoon. 0 for 2 today, and 0 for the unofficial second half of the season. 0 for 9, or 0 for 7, I'm sorry. And he takes the fastball, strike 1. Choo with the average currently at 238. Nothing and 2. Stroman, since he gave up the back-to-back singles to Robertson and Beltre leading off the 4th inning, has kind of morphed into a killer out there. He's going right for the throat of every hitter he faces. Did he swing? No, he did not. Peeled down to Milwaukee at 3rd, and the crew chief said, nope, no swing.
You know, it looks like he's just toughened up a little bit, you know, since those couple of hits. Getting the ball, getting right back up there on the rubber and going after him.
And again, the appeal in Milwaukee is that nope. 2-2 now.
Choo is very good when it comes to check swings. He can wait, you know, to the last possible second to check his swing or foul a pitch off if he wants to.
You know, a couple of check swings, and he watches one low and inside. He's worked the count from 0-2 to 3-2. So Choo trying to get aboard with 2 outs here. Elvis Andrus, the Rangers shortstop, will be next. Stroman reading the signs, into the wind he goes. Ball strike 3, and Choo knew it. Thought Shin-Soo looking for a breaking ball, and Stroman came back with a fastball right down the middle. 5 strikeouts now for Stroman. We played half the ball game. The Blue Jays leading 2-0. That's Sunday, July 27th. Rangers playing host to division rival Oakland at 6:05. And the first 15,000 fans get the always popular fedora hat. That's courtesy of Coca-Cola. Make sure and pick up this stylish summer accessory by getting your tickets at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. First ball swinging here. Jose Bautista hit one a mile in the air and landed out of play down the left side. 0-1 the count. Bautista has walked twice, once intentionally, once unintentionally against Colby Lewis. Trying to get the breaking ball to come back. It would not. And the count evens, and a ball and a strike. Colby's next pitch is shot foul. 1-2 now to Jose Bautista. Blue Jays 2 runs on 7 hits. Rangers no runs on 4 hits. Foul straight back. We mentioned Bautista came into the game second in the major leagues with 62 walks. He's added 2. High and tight, 2-2.
You know, this has to be a tough guy to pitch to. A guy that can, has got a really good eye at the plate. Can hit for average, can hit for power, hit the ball out of any ballpark, left, center, or right field.
And won't offer at that pitch. Wow. you got to say, wait a minute, I'm not sure I've got something I can work with this guy. 64 base on balls for Bautista. And he skies one to shallow center, going out Odor and Andrus. And Odor at the last second, he was calling it all the way, and Elvis didn't give up on it till the last second. Rugnet reached out and made the catch. But communication has been a problem for both infielders and outfielders for the Rangers.
It has, and I think a lot of it has to do with just the inexperience. And, you know, the captains out there in the field are the center fielder and the shortstop. If you're under it, if that shortstop calls you off of it, you get out of the way. If that center fielder calls you off of it, you get out of the way. And it just seems to be an ongoing issue right now.
The one away, Deanna Navarro goes after the first pitch and lofts one out of play to the left. It is 0-1. Navarro a line drive to left in the first inning. Last time up, grounded out to second. Rangers again with the extreme overshift on. 3 players on the right side of second. Navarro swings through a fastball. It is 0-2. Navarro, that average, as you can see, at 258 with 5 home runs. Lewis back to him. Check swing. Did he go? He did not. Bill Welke is kind of stuck on that no swing down there at third.
I've always found that difficult to call. I don't understand how umpires do it, but hey, that's their job.
Swinging strike 3. Yeah, and you get different explanations, I think, when you talk to different umpires. They say, okay, here's what I consider a swing, and another guy will say, no, that's not what I consider a swing. There is no definite cut and dried, yes, it's a swing, and no, it's a swing. Now let's take time here very quickly for a Mazda game break with Dana Larson. Dana? Colby Rasmus trying to bunt his way aboard, and he does so successfully. That's the second bunt on the third baseline, and Colby Lewis not real happy with the Blue Jays with that attack, but part of the game.
It is part of the game. You don't. There are some pitchers that really don't like it, but if you look at it, Colby's delivery, when he finishes, he's almost facing first base, so it's almost got his back toward third base, so it's tough for him to go to his right and make that play. But hey, you've got to take advantage of everything you possibly can.
And you got to protect yourself. You're Colby Lewis. And you make it very uncomfortable for people that choose to bunt.
Right. Well, there were a few pitchers that when I got to the big leagues, I was told, do not bunt on these guys.
Yep.
And it was like, well, why? Well, unless you want to wear one, you'll listen. And we got the message pretty good.
You want to know why, you just try bunting one time and you'll see why.
Nolan was one of those guys.
Yep. Certainly was.
Rick Russell.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
There were more than just a handful around. Oh, and 1 the count to Dan Johnson, who is 1 for 1. Now 0-2. Johnson has walked. That was in the second. Last time up, he doubled. That got the things going for the Blue Jays in that 4th inning. Doubled home Colby Rasmus. Inside, and jackknife out of the way. Johnson takes the pitch. It is 1-2. Colby Lewis just over the 100-pitch plateau, 105 for the veteran right-hander, working here in the 5th inning. Got Rasmus at first and 2 out. Got him swinging. Good back foot breaking ball, and that will do it. Colby kind of staring over at Colby Rasmus, just to make sure he heard him when he said it the first time. On to the 6th, 2-0 Toronto. Slam inning brought to you by Sonic. Today's jackpot is worth $400 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Today the Rangers are hitting for Gary Covington of Maybank. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, Gary Covington from Maybank will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. Elvis Andrews is going to start things off for the Rangers. They need a couple to catch up here. Trailing 2-0. They have been doubled up in the hit column by the Blue Jays. Elvis 0 for 2, a pop out and a fly out. And first ball swinging, he skies one to shallow right center field. GOSE coming on, and the right fielder makes the grab for out number 1. So Elvis makes a U-turn between first and second, heads back to the Ranger dugout. And Daniel Robertson now will come up against Marcus Stroman. Robertson 2 for 2 this afternoon. And in case you weren't with us earlier, he had to take over for Alex Rios, who sprained his right ankle swinging awkwardly at a pitch in the first inning. Robertson came on and singled to center, and that at bat had an infield single his last time up. And takes a strike from Stroman here. Robertson with the 2 hits now, up to 265. And just off the outside corner. You mentioned Daniel with his 4th 2-hit game of the year for the Rangers. One and two now. So Stroman all of a sudden mixing fastball, breaking ball pretty effectively as Ranger hitters kind of caught in between.
Yeah, he's using both sides of the plate, mixing them up. Fastball, curveball, slider.
That's all the way to the backstop. 2-2. Stroman, All-American at Duke University. You mentioned he went to Duke and played second base in his freshman year. Then went to the mound and was an All-American and also an academic All-American. So that tells you got a little bit between the ears to work with too. He was smart. That's when he went from second base to the mound. It's a lot easier on that. You don't have to work as hard.
Work once every 5 days instead of every day. I get it.
Again, the 2-2. Did he go around? No, he did not. That appeal down to first base, and James Hoy making that call. So the count is full now to Robertson, trying to get aboard with one out. He'll be followed by Adrian Beltre. There's that look at the check swing. Payoff pitch, line to right field. GOSE retreating. Still going back, backpedaling now, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Daniel Robertson gave it a pretty good ride going the other way. GOSE able to track it down, and that'll bring up Beltre. Adrian stepping to the plate, 1 for 2 this afternoon. Lined a single to right field his last time up. One of just 4 hits against Marcus Stroman for the Rangers today. 0-1. Stroman, as a matter of fact, has retired the last 8 that he has faced. Last hitter to reach, the man you're looking at, Adrian Beltre. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan Fearbend, left-hander, in the Ranger bullpen. One and two. Colby Lewis still on the Ranger bench. Haven't seen anybody congratulating Colby yet, giving him a handshake, saying nice going. So he may be going back out there for the bottom of the 6th inning. We've got 2 left-handed hitters in Francisco and GOSE, and then back to the top of the order for switch hitting Reyes. And Fearbend continuing to throw out in the Ranger bullpen. Going inside, 2-2 now, the count to Beltre. Adrian up a tick at 338. Started the game at 337. Chevy pitch tracker showing you the proximity of those pitches. 3-2.
Well, Adrian just looks very comfortable in that batter's box. It doesn't matter who's throwing, left-hander, right-hander, whatever it is that they're throwing. He's just right on it. He's seeing the ball really well.
Yeah. Now the payoff pitch. We'll try it again. Beltre shoots that slider foul down the left side. Stroman studying the signs. Chevy pitch tracker showing he's not far off the mark. Beltre a drive to left field. Going back, Cabrera still going back at the wall, makes the catch. And that will do it. Adrian, a little too much air under it. And the Rangers retired in order in the 6th. After 5.5, the Blue Jays 2, the Rangers nothing. AT&T UVerse Rewind. Last inning that Colby worked. A pop-up that was not played extremely well. Then drawing the ire of Colby Lewis, Colby Rasmus laying down a bunt. Colby making sure that Rasmus knew what he was thinking about the whole deal. And then again, after the inning was over, swing the bat next time.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that fire.
But Colby out after 5 innings of work. He gives way to the left-hander Ryan Fearabin.
The numbers on Ryan Fearabin in AAA. 19 games, 8-5 record. ERA about 4.5. 113 innings, 26 walks. He's that third lefty out of the Rangers bullpen that they've got going now.
And a pinch hitter for the Blue Jays to start things off. It's Steve Tollefson. Tollefson, right-handed swinger up there. He is facing Fearabin. Tollefson, a .257 average. Takes low and inside. 3 home runs, 12 driven in for Tollefson. Fearabin back to him. That's cued foul off the end of the bat. Remember Wayne Tollefson, a longtime Ranger fans, infielder for the Rangers back in the early mid-'80s. And Steve Tollefson is his son. He has a baseball background in his family. Also got a broken bat now after that ground ball. He'll get a new piece of lumber and head back to the plate.
Souvenir for a little kid.
Don't throw it back on the field, please.
I actually like to see that. The kid has no idea what they've got.
That's right.
I know what to do with it. Throw it.
Breaking ball, call strike 3. Backdoor hook, and Tollefson caught window shopping. That is out number 1.
Fearabin backdoors that curveball to Tollefson. Tollefson just can't pull the trigger. Very nice pitch by Fearabin.
Oh, 1 out. Anthony GOSE now, the right fielder, comes up. GOSE 1 for 2. Had a bunt single his last time. He's going to try it again, but Fearabin off the mound quickly. A throw to first, and pulled off the bag is ARENCIBIA. GOSE is safe on the bunt.
GOSE using that speed. Fearabin gets to it and just pulls ARENCIBIA off the bag. Otherwise, it would have been an out. Fearabin fielded his position very well. Got to it. Made the spin. Just didn't get it on target.
We're still waiting for the official scoring ruling. It is going to be an error on the throw from Fearabin. The first error for either ball club here this afternoon. Puts GOSE at first, and Fearabin going to first, and he gets him. Now you make an error, and then you just go ahead and pick him off.
Wow.
GOSE thought he had it read properly. He went back to the bag and then stopped short of the bag, and the throw just beat him.
It did. He took his eye off of him, went back to the, or kind of went halfway back to the bag, took his eye off Fearabin, and Fearabin picked him off. Very nice move. He thought he had it read, and he didn't. He had it read, but it was the wrong read.
Goodness. Up the middle, and base hit to right center. Over to cut it off, Leonis Martin, but into second with a 2-out double is Jose Reyes. Boy, that ball was scalded. Just past the dive of Rougned Odor at second. It ends up being a 2-bagger, a 20th double of the year for Jose Reyes.
Fearabin throws the fastball right down the middle, and Reyes crushes it past the diving Odor. We look at that pickoff again. That's don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
No, I don't think I have either, Mac. You watch enough baseball, you see things you've never seen before. Here's Kawasaki, and he takes the pitch outside. Left-hander against left-hander here with Reyes at second base. MUNENORI Kawasaki and an RBI single his last time up. 1 for 3 today. Up his RBI total to 4 for the year. Fairbairn back to the plate. Good fastball.
Almost double. Reyes scalded just past the diving Odor. Now Leonys Martin does a great job getting over and cutting it off, because if that ball gets to the wall, that's an easy triple for the speedy Reyes.
Fairbairn, couple of looks at second, and the pitch hits the inside corner. It's 1-2. Yeah, Reyes, triple is his trademark. Led the National League several years when he was with the Mets in 3-baggers. A ball and 2 strikes. Fairbairn back to the plate. That evens things up at 2-2. Reyes establishing his lead at the bottom of your screen. He is at second. And Kawasaki pops it up. That will just be over the Jays dugout on the third base side. See one more look at that pickoff.
Wow. You see GOSE just took his eye off Fairbairn and looked toward home plate. I guess he thought he was going home.
He did. It's kind of a double move for Fairbairn. Call strike 3. Fairbairn gets a couple of strikeouts in the inning. Gives up the double, but strands one. On to the 7th we go in Toronto. It's the Blue Jays 2, the Rangers nothing on Fox Sports Southwest. Fox Sports Southwest is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. The Ford Summer Spectacular Sales Event now playing at a Ford dealer near you. And we'll take a look at our Ford game summary this afternoon through the first 6 innings. The Blue Jays with a 2-0 lead, both their runs coming in the 4th. Meanwhile, Marcus Stroman has worked 6 shutout innings for the Blue Jays with 5 strikeouts, and he has retired the last 9 Rangers that he's faced. Daniel Robertson stepping in the first inning to replace the injured Alex Rios, has 2 of the 4 hits the Rangers have put up this afternoon. And as we go to the 7th inning, Steve Tollefson stays in the ballgame and takes over at third base for Juan Francisco. Jake Smolinski leading off has the count in his favor now. 2 balls and no strikes. Smolinski has struck out both times, and he has faced Stroman this afternoon. Fastball misses, and it's 3-0. Stroman has not walked a hitter yet. I mentioned the 5 strikeouts. Smolinski trying to get aboard to start the Rangers' 7th inning. 3-1. '23-year-old Marcus Stroman back to the plate. That fills the count. Smolinski, a .407 hitter as he faces Stroman here in the 7th inning. Payoff pitch is on the way. Now back will try it again. Got a pretty good piece of the mask of Deoner Navarro. Deoner checking to make sure that the bars are still straight. Another 3-2 is coming. Up and in, and that ball fouled off the end of the bat. I think that got the knob of the bat.
Wow. That's not a good feeling. Knowing that that's ball 4.
Pretty good marksmanship by Stroman. You can get that thing. Again, the 3-2. This one popped up. Maybe a play. Stroman racing over there as Navarro just doesn't beat him to the ball. Navarro makes the catch. Boy, Stroman on a dead sprint.
I'll tell you what, he actually beat him there. But Navarro called it off, and I'd probably be a little bit more apt to have Stroman catch it. He's a former second baseman. He knows what he's doing out there, it looks like.
Well, he was not going to be left out of this play, I'll tell you that.
He was not. He's supposed to be directing traffic there. I can't remember the last time I saw a pitcher go that far for a foul ball.
That's a pretty aggressive move by the young man. I like that. I like that a lot. No, 1 out, and now Leonis Martin, who is 0 for 2, steps in. Martin, a ground out and a strikeout. And he hits a 2-hopper again out to Kawasaki. Another jam shot. Martin retired. That is 11 straight. Now sent down by Stroman. 2 gone for J.P. Arancibia. And we'll take a look at the starting pitchers tomorrow, brought to you by Chevron. Nick Tepesh with that 3-5 record against the veteran Mark Burley. Burley having an outstanding year. Has fallen down a little bit of late, but a 2.64 average or ERA would tell you that he has not lost much. 10-6. That'll be tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock Central Time, right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Arancibia 1 for 2. Had a base hit his first time up. JP back in Toronto for the first time as a visiting player. And he pops the next pitch up. Right side of the infield. Kawasaki makes the grab, and that will do it. 12 straight sent down by Marcus Stroman. We'll take the stretch here in Toronto. It's the Blue Jays 2 and the Rangers 0. teaming up to bring you a summer of fun in Arlington. For $55, you'll receive an Upper Reserve ticket and a Six Flags Over Texas ticket. Just go to TexasRangers.com/specials. You can purchase your tickets today. Ryan Fearband going to work here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Melky Cabrera takes a breaking ball for strike one. It'll be Cabrera, Bautista, and Navarro. Fearband back to the plate. This is a bit low. Ryan Fearband signed by the Rangers as a free agent before last year. Minor league free agent. And trying to recover from all kinds of arm misery of the last few years. Originally the property of the Seattle Mariners. Made his major league debut with Seattle back in 2006. Cabrera fouls the next pitch off. And it's 2-2. Fearband was a third-round selection by the Mariners in 2003 out of high school and grew up in Ohio. Up the middle into center field, a base hit for Cabrera. That's his 3rd hit of the day. A leadoff single here in the 7th inning, and Bautista now coming up.
Well, Cabrera did a good job staying back on this breaking ball. Fearband tried to backdoor it, but caught a little bit too much of the plate. Ended up right down the middle. Cabrera just takes it right back up the middle for a base hit.
The Blue Jays now in double digits with 10 hits this afternoon. Rangers, Colby Lewis and Fearband doing a pretty good job of limiting the run damage to just a couple. Got to be careful here, though. These are the big guys in the order. Bautista and Navarro, and this is the kind of club in Toronto that they get a hit of steam up. You know, they can hang a crooked number up there on the board very quickly. The right field going back. Robertson, it's at the wall, it's off the wall. He plays the cam well. The stop sign is put up, and Bautista, after a turn, has to hang on with about a 390-foot single. Nice play by Daniel Robertson to play the carom perfectly and get the ball back in quickly.
Beautiful play by Robertson. He goes at it, this ball's driven over his head, hits the wall, and one hops right to him, and he barehands it and gets it right back into second base. So he knows exactly where he's going with that ball. Now, typically with a normal alignment, that ball is probably a double, and Cabrera would score from first base. But with the way they play Bautista to pull out there in the outfield, Robertson, the right fielder, is set up to pull, so he's in that right center field gap already. So that saved a run momentarily.
It saved a run right now. The runners, though, at first and third with nobody out. Deanna Navarro, switch hitting catcher up there, turns around to bat from the right side against the lefty Ryan Fearband. Oh, 0-1.
Look at Robertson. He's right there at the wall, about halfway on the track. That ball hits the wall, bounces right to him. He barehands it, didn't use his glove, didn't need to, and fires it back into second base at 2-0 door.
Navarro at the plate, 0 for 3 this afternoon. Fearband, who picked off Anthony GOSE rather embarrassingly for GOSE last inning, almost got Bautista leaning the wrong way.
Well, I think the guy's going to be a little bit more aware of what Fearband is doing out there on the mound. See, Bautista doesn't have a very big lead. It's pretty much he can just lean back and be right there at first base.
0-1 pitch. High in the air down the right side. Robertson in pursuit. The ball slicing and drops untouched about 5 feet in foul territory. Well, Daniel Robertson playing way over in right center field, even with his speed. Couldn't get there in time. And the count moves to 0-2. Navarro down in the count. Blue Jays this afternoon 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They have, as we have shown you, had problems. That 242 season average indicative of A team that has not been real consistent, especially lately. The base hit to right field. That number will go up just a bit. In to score Cabrera. On to second is Bautista. And the Blue Jays, with 3 consecutive singles, plate a run, and that makes it a 3-0 Toronto lead.
Navarro gets a fastball up. Fairbairn drives it the other way to right field for an RBI single. Fairbairn trying to hit that outside part of the plate, but just caught too much up the plate.
Navarro drives in his 38th run of the year. Blue Jays still with a big threat going. Runners at first and second, nobody out. A run across, and Mike Maddox out to talk to Fairbairn and Chirinos. Give Ranger bullpen an opportunity to get going here in the 7th inning. Roman Mendez up and loosening. Colby Rasmus 2 for 3 today. Pair of singles. The last one a bunt base hit against Colby Lewis, and he threw Lewis's ire for not swinging the bat in that situation. Colby let him know, and Lewis let Colby Rasmus know that he was not particularly pleased. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Fairbairn back to the plate. Now 2-0. Bautista, the runner at second. Navarro at first. 2-0 pitch. Didn't mean to do it. A little check swing roller foul, and it's 2-1.
Fairbairn is that long, lengthy type left-hander, so he's got to be very difficult for left-handed hitters to pick up his release point. If you look at how Rasmus is reacting to Fairbairn's pitches, you can tell that it looks a little bit difficult.
And Fairbairn missing inside. It's 3 balls and a strike now to Colby Rasmus. Rangers looking for that double play grounder at a middle infielder. Chopper foul, that fills the count. Crowd of almost 46,000 on hand here this afternoon. 45,802. Blue Jays on top 3-0. The payoff pitch. Chopper to the right side. ARENCIBIA to second. And he just does get the force out. Elvis having to reach out and keep the little toe on the bag. Oh, 1 out. Runners at the corners. And before Dan Johnson comes up, we'll take time for a Mazda game break. Once again, here's Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. Here, Ryan Fairbairn trying to limit the damage in this 7th inning. Blue Jays have driven across a run on 3 consecutive singles. Have runners at the corners with 1 out. Dan Johnson, who is 1 for 2 this afternoon, comes to the plate and takes just outside for ball 1. Johnson walked in the 2nd, doubled to drive in a run in the 4th. And last time up went down swinging. Fairbairn back to the plate. The breaking ball sweeps off the outside corner. It's 2-0.
Fairbairn looking to get a ground ball double play and work out of this inning and keep the damage to a minimum.
Colby Rasmus at first, and he's not taking any chances over there. High fly ball to right. This should be deep enough to score the run. Tagging at third, Bautista. Robertson with the catch. The throw comes into second. And Bautista down the line to score. And the sacrifice fly by Dan Johnson. That makes it a 4-0 Toronto lead.
Dan Johnson gets the job done, gets the pitch up in the zone a little bit, gets the fly ball to the outfield. Sacrifice fly, the fourth run of the day for the Blue Jays.
And Ron Washington, the slow walk to the mound. He's already made the call to the bullpen. Roman Mendez, the right-hander, to be summoned from the bullpen, and Ryan Feierabend is finished. He leaves with a score of 4-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. 2 outs here in the seventh. The pitching change underway at Rogers Center. We'll be back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Here with 2 outs and 2 on in the bottom of the seventh inning, and 23-year-old right-hander Roman Mendez on now for the Rangers.
And the numbers on Roman Mendez, his 4th ball game. No ERA, he really hasn't given up anything. It was 5 2/3 innings, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Retired 17 of the 22 batters he's faced, so he's done a tremendous job. His first time in the big leagues.
Mendez, a very lively arm, rushes that ball to home plate, and he has been effective, as Mark told you, for the ball club this year, and has been effective in his career in the minor leagues. Steve Thomason, now the third baseman, who came on as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. Golden Blue Jays up there to face Mendez, who misses outside for ball 1. Thomason called out on strikes as he pinch hit for Juan Francisco, leading off the 6th inning for the Blue Jays. Now Roman Mendez. A belt high set and the pitch. Here's the breaking ball in for a strike. It's 1-1. Thomason, a .255 hitter. Mendez okays the sign. A check of first. Rasmus on the move. The pitch is inside. The throw is high. And on into center field, but backed up by Leonis Martin. Now Mendez not really giving Chirinos an opportunity to throw out Rasmus. And Rasmus with the stolen base. His first of the year.
No, Rasmus stole that one definitely on Mendez. Mendez with the high leg kick. Long delivery to the plate. Great jump by Rasmus. Not a whole lot Chirinos could do with that one. Nice job by Leonis Martin backing up the play, or otherwise Rasmus is at third base.
Tollison waiting the count of 2 balls and a strike. Mendez will look back to second, and the breaking ball stays inside. 3-1 the count. Tollison hitting the number 8 slot, trying to extend this 7th inning for the Blue Jays. Anthony Gose, the right fielder, would be next if Tollison reaches. Mendez ready. And the 3-1 pitch. .95 and down a bit. Tollison couldn't catch up.
See Chirinos set up down and away, and Mendez hits his glove, throws it right to him. Perfect pitch.
Now the payoff pitch coming. In the air to left. Smolinski, plenty of time to get over there, and makes the grab. That will do it. Now the side retired. The Blue Jays score twice more. On 3 hits, they strand 1. We're going to the 8th inning. It's now 4-0 Toronto. Our fan photo selection of the afternoon. Joel sends us this great picture. Appreciate it, Joel. Thank you very much. And folks that want to tweet your photos, it's hashtag Southwest Fan Photo. We will select a photo for each ball game on Fox Sports Southwest. Not this time. Every ball game will have a new one for you. On to the 8th. Brett Cecil is the new pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Numbers on Brett Cecil, his 38th ball game with an 0-3 record, ERA of 3.6. He's got a home ERA of 5.2. So he pitches much better on the road with an ERA of 2.3 on the road as opposed to at home.
Well, 4-0 Toronto now. Cecil on to face the number 8 man in the Ranger order. That is Rougned Odor, who takes inside for ball 1. Odor 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out. Rangers had very little luck against Marcus Stroman this afternoon. Stroman worked 7 innings, shutout baseball, just 4 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Now Cecil on to take over in the 8th inning. 2 balls and no strikes. Brett Cecil, the 28-year-old from Maryland. He went to the University of Maryland. He was a Terrapin. Matter of fact, he was their closer in college. Blue Jays' first round pick, the supplemental round, 38th overall of the 2007 draft. 2-1 to Odor. Now 3-1. Fastball strays high. Marundet trying to get aboard to start this 8th inning for the Rangers. Robinson Chirinos, Ranger catcher, waiting in the on-deck circle. And ball 4. Odor draws the leadoff walk. Sure, John Gibbons not really thrilled with the leadoff walk by Cecil. Brought him in the game to face the left-hander, and John Gibbons, a former catcher in his own right, said, no, that's not what I had in mind.
No, especially in the 8-hole hitter. Not that Odor is a hitter, but typically when you're hitting down in the order, those are the guys you want to swing the bat.
The 1 on, nobody out. Chirinos, a couple of ground balls today. Once to second, once to third. And there is a strike to the outer part. Robinson a .236 average as he faces Cecil. Infield for the Blue Jays, a step or so around to the left. To left field, that's going to fall for a base hit. Odor to second will put the brakes on there, and the Rangers now have something going in the 8th against Brett Cecil. A walk to lead things off, and a single by Chirinos. 2 aboard for the top of the order.
Well, nice piece of hitting by Chirinos. Gets one out over the plate. A little changeup, hits it off the end of the bat, drops it in left field. Breaks his bat, but I'm sure he doesn't care. I think any player is going to trade a hit for trade a bat for a hit anytime.
Plenty more bats, huh?
Absolutely.
You can order all you want. You can't order up hits all the time. No, 2 on, nobody out. And the top of the order now, Shin-Soo Choo, who is 0 for 3. The pitch is high for ball 1. Choo has grounded out twice and struck out this afternoon. Average is .237. Rangers have not had many opportunities today with the runner in scoring position. 0 for 3. They do have Odor at second and Chirinos at first here in the 8th inning. 1-1. Remember at one point when Shin-Soo was going well back in May, he was the leader in the clubhouse against left-handed pitching in the American League. He has fallen on harder times since then, but that's true of against everybody. Shin-Soo has just had his game fall. Well, it's fallen down to its .236 average now. That is about 140 points below what he was hitting in the end of May.
Right, he was hitting left-handers well. He was hitting right-handers well.
Yeah.
And it didn't much matter who was on the mound. He got the job done.
2-2 now. Choo, of course, really struggling with that ankle. It's kept him from playing on a daily basis in the outfield. We got Odor at second, Chirinos at first. 2-2 the count as Cecil comes back to him and misses high and tight. Well, the count is full, and if Choo gets aboard, Rangers would have the tying run coming to the plate. That would be in the person of ELVIS ANDRUS.
Choo's putting together a pretty good advantage with Cecil.
Payoff pitch on the way. Ball strike 3. Second straight time that Shin-Soo Choo has watched a fastball on 3-2 and been called out. Oh, 1 out, and that's going to do it for Brett Cecil. Fastball pretty much middle of the plate down a bit, well within the borders of the strike zone. Well, Brett Cecil is finished after a walk, a single, and a strikeout. He is with 2 on and 1 out. Dustin McGowan is coming in, and The pitching change is underway. We again will take a timeout. Back after this on Fox Sports Southwest. Brett Cecil started the inning, and Rangers able to get 2 on with nobody out. Chu was called out on strikes, and Cecil exited the ball game in favor of the right-hander Dustin McGowan.
The numbers on Dustin McGowan, his 32nd ball game, 4-3 record, 7 holes, ERA just a little over 4. He's coming back and joining that bullpen. He's only given up 7 earned runs in 23 innings.
Well, McGowan, the 32-year-old right-hander, is a Georgia native. On here to face Elvis Andrus with runners at first and second and 1 out. Blue Jays leading 4-0. Rangers trying to get on the board here in the 8th inning. Elvis 0 for 3 today. He has flied out twice and popped out. Saw McGowan working yesterday's game. Pitched the 9th inning for the Blue Jays. Gave up a hit, but was unscored upon. And he misses inside for ball 1 to Elvis. Odor is at second. Chirinos at first. McGowan checks the runners. And a ground ball, base hit to left field. Being waved around third is Odor. He will score without a throw. And Elvis Andrus with the RBI single, that makes it a 4-1 Blue Jay lead. And the Rangers now do indeed get the tying run coming to home plate.
Nice piece of hitting by Elvis. Fastball up in the zone, a little bit in. Pulls it in that 5.5 hole. Drives in the Rangers' first run of the game.
Odor scoring easily. First and second, still just 1 out. Daniel Robertson is the hitter, and he is 2 for 3 today since taking over in the first inning for the injured Alex Rios. McGowan misses wide for ball 1. In case you missed the information on Alex Rios earlier, Alex had kind of an awkward swing in the first inning and ended up spraining his right ankle. He went for x-rays and they came back negative, but he is still a little bit sore, and day to day is how he has listed now. Robertson has come on and done a very good job, and we'll take you back to the first inning for Alex Rios' swing. That right ankle, his back ankle, see kind of rolling over, looked like it got his spikes caught. Alex in obvious discomfort. That was on the first pitch to Rios from Marcus Stroman. 1-1, the count to Robertson. Now 2-1. McGowan been property of the Blue Jays throughout his entire career. He was the first round pick by Toronto back in the 2000 draft, 33rd selection overall. Made his first foray into the big leagues in 2005. Fouled back is to our left. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dustin McGowan throughout his career with the Blue Jays has been a very versatile pitcher. He has been a starter, and matter of fact, he had as many as 27 starts for the Blue Jays back in 2007. 19 the next year, and then the Blue Jays used him sparingly as a starter since. The 2-2 pitch. Jet swing, he got it. And Robertson couldn't quite stop it, and McGowan gets the big strikeout. 2 gone, and here comes Adrian Beltre.
McGowan goes with a 2-seamer, tails it back in, runs it in off the inside part of that plate. I'm not sure that it was a check swing or the check swing that got him. It looks like a strike anyway.
Now Pete Walker, the pitching coach, now to have a very quick visit with Dustin McGowan and with Deanna Navarro.
Well, they've definitely got to be sure of what they're throwing here in this situation with Beltre at the plate. The tying run.
Beltre 1 for 14 in his career against McGowan, so it has not been a favorable matchup. He's got Chirinos out at second, Andrus at first. McGowan ready, and the first pitch is low and in for ball 1. Defensively, the Blue Jays played the infield well around to the left. The second baseman Kawasaki just a couple of steps on the first base side of second. The outfield, though, is just about straight away in every position. The 1-0 from McGowan. Popped up down the right side. Johnson over at the railing, and that's going to be out of his reach. Back about 6 rows. The count moves to 1-1. And Neil Kotz loosening in the Ranger bullpen. Beltre 1 for 3, had a 4th inning single against Marcus Stroman. Two on, 2 outs. A run across here in the 8th inning for the Rangers. In the dirt, nice stop by Navarro. And he took a beating on blocking that ball.
Well, I don't envy those catchers back there. That's for sure. Even with all that gear, they take a beating.
Scrambling around back there. You never know what you're going to get. Guys coming out of the bullpen. One guy's on, one guy isn't. 2-1 to Adrian. McGowan reading the signs, a series of signs sent out by Navarro. And now Navarro says, wait a minute, I'm not sure what you just agreed to. And McGowan will take a look at the recycled signs from Navarro. 2-1 the count. Way outside and low, it's 3-1. McGowan not exactly pinpoint here. He has put Adrian Beltre in a great hitter's count at 3 balls and a strike. Beltre to be followed by Jake Smolinski. And Aaron Loop, the left-hander, out in the Toronto bullpen in left field. Remember last night we talked about the difficulties that both the Rangers and the Blue Jays have had with their bullpens. underperforming. In a sore spot all year long. 3-1 pitch. Well, Adrian had a hack at that one. I think he'd like to have a mulligan, a do-over on that one.
Yes, I think so. That pitch is right there, and he's not happy that he missed it.
Well, this crowd now of almost 46,000 trying to get behind Dustin McGowan. Runners will be on the move with 2 outs. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, and the ball goes all the way to the backstop, and the throw at first is late. Beltre able to reach on a strikeout wild pitch, and that loads the bases for Jake Smolinski.
There's a break.
Adrian obviously expanding his strike zone.
Well, he hit one out up that almost that high last night. Goes after that one. McGowan gets it by Navarro. And Beltre hustling down to first base, beats the throw.
Well, they're going to score that a pass ball, feeling that Deanna Navarro got enough leather on it. He should have been able to catch it. In any event, it loads the bases for Smolinski. The tying runs are on base. The first pitch to Jake is high and tight for ball 1. Smolinski 0 for 3 this afternoon. He has struck out twice and fouled out. Facing Dustin McGowan. Got the bases full of Ranger teammates. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, the scoreboard incorrect, so Dustin McGowan just making sure with home plate umpire John Tempain that it is a 1-1 count, and Tempain said, yep, it sure is. Chirinos at third, Andrus at second, Beltre at first. 1 ball, 1 strike the count, and McGowan sets. And now backs off. Don Gibbons working that gum over pretty well as the skipper of the Blue Jays told you about the bullpen problems. He has seen it happen before. 1 and 2. Smolinski out trying to collect his thoughts after a little bit of a cut fastball from McGowan. Navarro with the signs. McGowan says yes. A high set, the 1-2 pitch. Got him swimming. Up and in for the strikeout. McGowan ends up striking out 3 in 2/3 of an inning. Rangers score 1 time, but leave the bases loaded. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's now 4-1 Toronto. goes to lead things off in a jumping Rogers Center. Ends up getting excited between innings. Rangers tried to calm the excitement by scoring one, had the opportunity for more, but couldn't put any more on the board against Dustin McGowan. And Roman Mendez back out there to face Anthony Gose, Jose Reyes, and Munenori Kawasaki. Gose 1 for 3, had a bunt single back in the 4th inning. Last time he reached on a throwing error by Ryan Fearbin, but was immediately picked off. And first ball swinging here, he drives one to left. Smolinski with room, one gone. Now Mendez will face the top of the Toronto order. Jose Reyes a couple of hits this afternoon, an infield single in the 3rd, and last time up he laced a double to the gap in right center. Reyes with the average at 272 after a 2 for 4 afternoon. 1 ball, no strikes. Reyes facing 23-year-old right-hander Roman Mendez out of the Dominican Republic. The pitch low and outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Mendez, the 3rd pitcher used by the Rangers this afternoon. Colby Lewis went the first 5 innings, gave up a couple of runs on 8 hits. Ryan Fearbin worked the next 1 2/3. Gave up 4 hits and a pair of runs, and Roman Mendez has retired the first 2 hitters that he has faced. And fires strike 2 to Jose Reyes. Mendez with the next pitch. Reyes really fishing for that. Mendez taking a lot off, and Reyes just able to get a little piece of the ball.
Took an awful lot off that. Nice changeup, down and away, perfect spot. Reyes does a good job of just fouling it off.
Now Mendez okays the sign. He's going to come back with another 2-2 pitch. High chopper charged nicely by Odor. He got a great read on the ball, so he didn't have to play the short hop. And that is out number 2 with Kawasaki coming up. Now let's head back for our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the afternoon. How about Jose Bautista at the plate, and he rifles one over the head of Daniel Robertson, who played the carom perfectly. And he got it back in a freaky fast fashion, and that's one of the longest singles that you will ever see. As Bautista held at just 1 base by Daniel Robertson. And now we have a pigeon that wants to get in on the act.
Got a couple of them out there wanting.
I think we're back at the old exhibition stadium. The Seagulls.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're being shooed off the field. Couldn't be much out there to eat, could there? Artificial seeds, maybe?
Well, they're going to find out here shortly.
In the meantime, Munenori Kawasaki takes ball 1, and Roman Mendez set to work to it. To center field, and retreating Leonis Martin with plenty of room, and that'll do it. So Mendez works a perfect 1-2-3-8. We're going to the 9th inning. Rangers one more shot. They are trailing 4-1 to the Blue Jays.
Mystically speaking, the Rangers still have a chance to sweep the series from the Blue Jays. They'll have to get busy here in the ninth inning. No matter what happens here, they'll have a chance to win the series, and that will come tomorrow afternoon when we play Game 3 of the 3-game set. You see some of the numbers from Rookie Odor in the last 4 games. Jose Bautista, the All-Star for the Blue Jays, obviously having a good year, too. We'll do it all tomorrow. AT&T UVerse brings us the preview of tomorrow's game, noon on Fox Sports Southwest. That means Rangers Live comes your way at 11:30 tomorrow. Back up to you guys.
All right, John, thank you. Leonys Martin leading off the Ranger ninth, and he's facing the tough left-hander, Aaron Loup.
Numbers on Aaron Loup is 46 ball game. A 3-2 record, ERA just over 3. He's only given up 1 home run, and opponents batting only 195 off of him. And he's even tougher on left-handers at a 158 batting average.
Leonys Martin, after his reaction to that last pitch, was thinking about kind of leaning into it. It was a slow breaking ball, and that would have been an opportunity to get on base to start things off. As it is, he's up in the count, 2-1.
That might not have been a bad idea. You got to get on base any way you can when you're down late in the ball game.
Infield, a step or so around to the right. Dan Loup misses badly outside and low. 3-1. So Leonys trying to start things off by getting aboard. J.P. Arencibia, the Ranger first baseman, will follow in the batting order. Loup a high set, the 3-1 pitch, and that's outside, ball 4. Again, a reliever coming in, giving the Rangers the opportunity with a leadoff walk. That happened in the 8th inning. Then Brett Cecil came in and walked Rougned Odor to start it off. Odor came around to score. We'll see what happens with Leonys Martin aboard after a leadoff pass. J.P. Arencibia 1 for 3 this afternoon. Had a second inning single. Since then has grounded out and popped out. And a strike from Loup on the inside corner. Loup in last night's game worked 2/3 of an inning. Gave up a hit, a walk, had a strikeout. Double play ground ball to third. Collison to second, on to first. Around the horn, a 5-4-3, much to the delight of the 46,000 on hand here this afternoon.
JP hit it hard. Just hit it right at the third baseman, Collison. Flips it over to second to Kawasaki and on to first base for the double play.
Rangers grounding into their 91st double play of the year. That's the most in Major League Baseball. So base is empty, 2 away, and Rougned Odor represents the last best chance for the ball club to get something here in the 9th inning. Odor, as we mentioned, drew that leadoff walk in the 8th inning. 0 for 2 other than that. Loup hits the outside corner with a strike. Now the left-hander okays the sign and sets. 1-2. And the crowd at Rogers Center rising to their feet. Fly ball to right field. Anthony GOSE settling in under it, makes the catch, and that will do it. So the Blue Jays come back with a 4-1 victory here this afternoon to even this series at 1 game apiece. Able to have 2 innings of 2 runs each today against the Rangers. 1 inning against Kobe Lewis and 1 inning against Ryan Fearbed, and the Rangers had a couple of opportunities but couldn't make it all the way back. We'll be back to Rogers Center to wrap it up right after this. Blue Jays 4, Rangers 1, Fox Sports Southwest.